Epictetus, the philosopher Epictetus said we must have a way of thinking that we can come up against the overwhelming difficulties of life. You got to think about this sometimes. Sometimes we're writing stuff down and we're thinking, I don't understand. How am I going to get through this? So we have to have a way of thinking that's superior to than just reacting. Reacting is always the worst way of thinking about anything. When you react to something, it becomes emotional. It becomes not a good way to overcome something. So how do we think about things? That was the real question. Through his life, Epictetus bestowed upon himself and others the kind of ideas about thinking that people at the time, whether they were rich, poor, emperor, or slave, would travel extraordinary distances just to hear him. He was born a slave and died one of the most influential teachers of his time. Marcus Aurelius wrote a thank you in his journals that the writings of Epictetus were available to him. Roosevelt carried them out with him on his incredible journey on the River of Doubt expedition. Epictetus said our first job is to divide our thinking into two categories, the external, which we cannot control, and the choices we make in regards to what we do control. Where will I find the good and bad in me and in my choices? Once we figure this out, we have the ability to change the course of our lives. It's a real artful way of thinking. We need to recognize what's up to us and what's not up to us, what we have influence over and what we do not. No amount of wishing will make you taller. No amount of yelling at a clerk because an airplane is late will get the plane there sooner. The wasted effort from these things takes away from the things you can actually change. Once you realize this, you have a distinct advantage over those who are throwing wasted time at these efforts. Once we realize that we decide how to think about what someone has said, we decide if it's a comment that is rude or unkind, we decide to hold on to the grievance. If someone proceeds to provoke you, then we must realize that it's our minds that are complicit in that provocation. Think about what you're doing to improve your own situation, not the opinion of what others think about what you are doing. You cannot control other people's opinions or thoughts, but you can control your day-to-day progress. Have I done all I can do to make progress? True greatness is revealed really in difficult times. We can think of hardship in many ways, as failure, as unfair, as the end of the conversation. Clearly this was not meant to be. They do not want me to succeed, so what is the use in trying anymore? Or we can choose to see it a better way, a chance to learn what happens with endurance and patience and resilience to overcome a struggle. Think of the challenge as a sparring partner that is preparing us for battle. Any attacks that come against us, they're not growing in depth of knowledge, soon if studied become easy to defeat. Once we decide to see hardship as an opportunity, not as an obstacle, in this way we can see everything that happens to us as fuel to make us better and stronger. Do not worry about what may happen. The first thing humans do is decide, I'm going to change my situation because it'll be better in another place or another time or with another person or with another way of doing things, rather than thinking, what is it that's wrong with this situation and how can I improve it to make it so it's no longer wrong? That's the real challenge, is to be able to take something that you're not doing well and you're not enjoying and turn it over, turn it around so that it becomes something you can enjoy. And then you can move on. Once you've conquered something, and you want a new challenge in life, then it's okay to move on. But never move on from failure. Always move on knowing that you've taken it to the highest level that you can take something.